What's up, everybody? I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's doing well, fine and fantastic. As I release this, I hope you're enjoying your holiday season, getting all your shopping done, whatever you do in order to celebrate and all that kind of stuff. So I hope everything is going good. So I wanted to jump in here for a minute here and obviously talk about a movie that I just saw, Kraven the Hunter. And I saw the reviews before I walked in, and I said to the reviews were terrible. It's full of toxic masculinity. I think I have some screenshots that I'm going to pull up, and they were just let me get out your way, lady. And they were just atrocious, abysmal, all that kind of stuff. And I said to myself, this is gonna be a good movie. Now, a lot of times, as I mentioned, the holiday seasons here, man. People are driving like maniacs, whipping through parking lots. You got to slam on brakes and whatnot. Let me pull over. I totally lost my train of thought there. So, I said to myself that this movie is going to be terrible. Now, This is obviously going to be a movie review. There may be some spoilers. I don't know. I'm not a movie reviewer. I do like to go to movies. I like to see good action. I like a good storyline, good plot. I like to decipher plots, particularly when there's hidden meanings and things along those lines. So I may get into that. I may not. As you know, I just kind of do this off the top of my head. Sometimes I take notes and sometimes I don't. But anyway, let's get into it. So this movie, I said to myself, is going to be better than what people are saying. I know it's going to be better than what people are saying. Sometimes you can judge that by the trailers. Sometimes you can't. And there were not a lot, at least I didn't see a lot of trailer releases. Maybe 2 of them. I know they did a bunch of reshoots and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying that this movie was perfect. But in my mind, it was definitely a good movie. It was definitely I'm saying that definitively, it was a good movie. In fact, if you know anything about the Marvel MCU universe, right? The MCU universe, they're missing aspects of Spider-Man, and Sony, who owns Spider-Man or rights to the Spider-Man, loans out anytime we see Spider-Man in the movies. Loans them out. They get paid off of that kind of stuff, but they can't use Spider-Man's bad guys. Kraven, Morbius, Rhino, a bunch of other people are Spider-Man bad guys, part of the Rogues gallery of bad guys. So they can't use them. So that's why this movie was produced by Sony rather than the MCU, Disney, and all that kind of stuff. I'm saying all that to say that if this was a MCU movie, it would definitely be in my top 15 of the 34, 35, whatever the number is, MCU movies that were released. It would definitely be up there in the top 10. Well, not top 10, top 15, top 20. Top 15, I would say. It was a good movie. Now, did it have problems? Yeah, I can see why they did a bunch of reshoots to it and all that kind of stuff. It definitely had some problems. One of the biggest problems I had was with the female lead. You got to make a decision. Either she's the love interest, which is going to tie into what I'm talking about, this toxic masculinity type of thing. She's either the love interest or she's just as capable, as confident, and just as badass as the protagonist, Kraven. So I don't agree with making her that way, because she is, the movie's about Kraven. Let's focus on Kraven. Let's not sideline the character and all that kind of stuff with the female lead or any other lead, right? So I get that. So they should have made her more the love interest, but it just didn't fit. So that's why I wrote a review, and I don't want people to think I'm just hating on women. People think that, but I just, if you're gonna make a movie about Kraven, let's make it about Kraven. You don't always need a love interest and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to talk about toxic masculinity and the fact that this movie was hated. Now, I put up the Rotten Tomato scores. The critic score is no longer to be believed, particularly in this day and time that we're living in. Critic scores for Rotten Tomatoes and any other place really should not be believed, because they're constantly dumping on movies, on TV shows that have good shows, that have low scores. There's a TV show, as I was driving here, there's a TV show I was thinking about It's about the dude who played Star-Lord. I can't remember his name. Anyway, he did a movie. He did a TV show on Prime that all the experts, all the critics were all saying this TV show is terrible. You know, it's too much violence and all this kind of stuff. But the men overwhelmingly loved it. It was part of the top. It was like, for streaming TV shows, it was like #1 at one time. And people just loved it. I loved it. It was a great, right? Guy going out there, you've been done wrong by your boss, by people in your past, and you're going out there to get revenge. I know it's toxic masculinity. I know it is. whatever that means. I'm not saying I buy into that term. I'm just throwing it out there because these people just throw it out there. But I'm saying all that to say that when there's a movie where there's a lot of bravado, a lot of masculinity, a lot of testosterone, there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of standing up for yourself, speaking your mind, not being unapologetic, not being apologetic, being yourself. These types of movies drive men to become the best version of themselves. They see these guys in shape, they say, "Oh man, let me go to the gym." They see these guys, or it may change their mindset about eating right. They see these guys who are, not living up to their potential, and they say to myself, how do I overcome my own insecurities so I can be this way? And that's what happened to this guy, Kraven in the movie. What's his name? Aaron Tyler, whatever his name is. I don't know his name. I got to put it up on the screen. Aaron Tyler Johnson, or whatever his name is. The actor, in shape, doing his thing, played the role very well, played a couple of different superheroes, right? He played Kick-Ass, he played, what was that movie he was in? The MCU movie, Age of Ultron, he was in that as Quicksilver. So, they just love this dude and think he's a great superhero. So I definitely think that this was his best role yet. He's definitely a good actor. I guess he's been in talks to get James Bond. I would be all for it. Good movie. So when boys see these types of movies, when they read these comic books, they get into their mind that they want to be like this person. It causes them to have this mindset that they're going to be someone, going to be protectors, going to be providers. They're going to be strong. They're going to be saviors. This is the way they think, and I think that a lot of women want that, right? Is this not what you want in a man? Someone who's going to have bravado, be a protector, who's going to be confident, be self-assured. These are all qualities and characteristics that a lot of times these ladies are looking for. And so for the movie industry, well, not the movie industry, but the critics, to be hand-waving and saying these movies are dumpster fires and don't go see them and they're trash, it's not true. 71% of the audience is saying that they liked it. And listen, there were problems with it, but I legitimately enjoyed this movie. I'd go see it again. I may go see it again. It was a good movie. This idea that you can't be, this idea that just want to water down masculinity, wholeheartely take it away, try to redefine masculinity. What does it mean to be a man? Questioning all this type of stuff, right? I think it's unfortunate. I think it's doing us a disservice. I think that it's wrong. I think it's taking us in the wrong direction. Ergo, we get to the election of Donald Trump, who, as one YouTube commenter said, I can't put it any better than the way she put it, these men want their masculinity back. They don't want to be talking about tea issues, bathroom agendas, pronouns. They don't want to talk about that. They want to know what it's like to be a man, to get in the gym, to eat right, to exercise, to be the best version of yourself, to stand up to bullies, to stand up for your rights, for free speech, all this kind of stuff. This is what they want. This is what they believe in. This is what they're going for. So when the critics in the media and in newspapers and articles put out this stuff about people who these types of movies are throwbacks to yesteryears and we need to move beyond that, and it's all garbage. It's garbage, and it's designed to get us to think a certain way, to act a certain way, and to want to, control the way that we think. And I think that there's such a rejection of that. There's such a rejection of that we saw in this election. You want to know why so many men, Hispanic men and white men, and more black men in comparison to previous years, voted for the Republican side? Because they want their masculinity back, because they want something different, because they want their masculinity back. They don't want to talk about this other nonsense and garbage. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to think about it. They want to, no. We want to be a man. We want to work out. We want to shoot guns. We want to shoot bow and arrows. We want to go hunting. And listen, I'm not in favor of a lot of that stuff. I'm not in favor of trophy hunting at all. I'm not in favor of that at all. I think it's despicable that people do that. I think they should be arrested and have their stuff taken away, their finances attached, and all that kind of stuff, right? So again, let me try to give a brief summary of about this movie, Kraven the Hunter. Kraven was a guy who grew up with an overbearing father. He and his brother grew up with an overbearing father, very unemotionally attached father, always about business, never about caring, loving, telling your children you should love them. I agree that you should tell your children you love them, show them empathy as a man. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that takes away from their masculinity or from your masculinity to do that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Tell your children you love them. So Kraven grew up this way. He gets into this situation where he's out hunting with his father, and he's going to protect his brother, right? Being to protect his brother from this big, strong lion that's coming out there to hunt him down. Going to protect his lion. And what I think a lot of people didn't catch is that Kraven refused to kill the lion because he thought it was an unfair advantage. I have the gun, and this lion has nothing. I personally enjoyed that particular perspective. I enjoy that perspective. Protect your brother. It's to me, it's a cowardly act to be shooting animals from distances and all that kind of. I don't care who you are. It's a cowardly act. It really is. So he protects his brother. He gets injured by the lion. Lion shows some sense of mercy or some type of connection to nature or something like that. Sees something in him or whatever. Carries him off to some woman who becomes the love interest slash semi-hero kind of character. She gives him a magic potion, which I have a problem with. I talked about this in a post that I did, talking about this. The whole, somebody from another culture comes in and they are found worthy to be recipient of your magical powers, your mysticism, your mystical secrets, and all this kind of nonsense. I have a problem with that, particularly as a person of color. But anyway, we can talk about that another time. He gets the magic potion. Think of it was very, very being in Africa and all that kind of stuff where they were. Think of kind of the Wakandan type of magic potion made from the leaves or whatever. And he then takes this power that's given to him. He doesn't use it for good at all times. He uses to hunt down people, and those people are presumably bad people. We can have a discussion about that. They got to make the guy a good guy somehow. So anyway, so that's what it is, right? So he gets this. He's a guy with no power. This is where men really develop into themselves. He's a guy with no power. He comes from an overbearing family. He then acquires this power. Think eating right, exercising, education. He then acquires this power, and then he does something semi-good with it. He's hunting down bad people with it. He still doesn't believe in killing animals and all that, which I appreciate, and all that. So this is what the movie was about. These are some of the lessons that a man can look at and say, this is something I need to be This is some of the ideas that a child, or, when I say child, 10, 11, 12-year-old, hey, listen, when you get this power, you become this big, strong person. Don't become a bully. Go out there, help people, protect people. Don't kill innocent animals. Be a protector of your brother. Don't, and all that kind of stuff. Is there something to be said about taking revenge on people and his murder and all that? Of course, we can have that conversation. And of course, this Kraven character is in the movie a semi-good guy, walking that line. But in the comic books, he's definitely a bad guy and an antagonist or bad guy to Spider-Man. So all this. So again, I just wanted to do that brief synopsis. Go see the movie. I think it was a good movie. I think there are some good lessons that a young kid could look at and say, this is some qualities that I want to be when I grow up, and this is how I'm going to get them. I'm going to eat right, exercise, educate myself, become the best version of myself. Where there's some things, yes, all that. I've said all that ad nauseum. So I just want to wrap this up and say this was a good movie. I think that the media is still trying to push this nonsense, and I think that the election of Donald Trump, the re-election of Donald Trump, and the whole is going to cause a resurgence and a revival of masculinity in people, and I think that that's very important for black men in particular, because we have been denied masculinity for so long, and we need to keep an eye on this because we got to see where this is going to go for us, and we got to make sure that when all this is going down, that we're in the front of the line saying we want our masculinity and our presence, our command presence, our mental status, our stature, our social stature, all this kind of stuff. We want to be able to be in those ranks. So I enjoyed the movie. I definitely think that it's an intentional attempt to take down masculinity, masculine presenting media, and all that kind of stuff. But I'd like to know your thoughts, your opinions. Is this a movie you want to see? Have you noticed it in other films? Let me just say this about it. I talked about this before. There's a show I like called The Diplomat. It's on Netflix. Great show in my estimation. Of course, it's about a woman. I have no problem with that at all. But what I do have a problem with, speaking about media and all that kind of stuff, what I do have a problem with is on season 1, there's at least 3 episodes that I can remember, in one of them were back to back. They kept saying it, and when the guy kept referring to himself as the wife. Oh no, don't talk to me because he was once a diplomat. She's now the diplomat. That's the name of the show, a diplomat. She is the foreign delegate to London. She's the ambassador to London for the U.S. And he was formerly an ambassador himself, and so now he's like, oh no, don't talk to me. Talk to her. She's the ambassador. I'm the wife. He said it numerous times in numerous episodes. That was season 1. Season 2 is now out. He said it again. They're trying to convince us to be wives, to be wives, and to be less masculine and all this kind of stuff. The problem with that, one of the biggest problems with that, is that the women don't want that either. They don't want to come home to a guy who's in an apron all day. They don't. There's the research will say both things, that they have more guys who do more housework actually have more sex. Listen, it's all nonsense. and I'm saying this as someone who's read some of these studies and stuff. Women don't want that. They want a masculine, strong presence, a man. And there's more research that says when there's strong gender roles, the relationship lasts longer and people are happier. So listen, the research is all over the place. But I'm just telling you, from the research that is all over the place, you can also glean that there is a sizable portion of women who want strong men. I'm not saying you shouldn't help out around the house. I'm not saying you got kids, you come home from work and just grunt, crack open a beer, sit back while your wife was corralling the kids, and you don't help out with the dishes or help cook. Or you should definitely be an active part of your family, and that is masculinity, and that is masculine. However, this part about being wives, no. So I want to tie all that in together. All these different movies and media and TV shows and all this kind of stuff. Kraven was a good movie. It was a good movie. Go see the movie. I'm definitely gonna buy it when it comes out on DVD. It was a good movie. I enjoy movies like that, And I don't enjoy, and while I have to sit there and tolerate, because I like political dramas and stuff, I got to sit there and deal with this whole wives thing that goes on in the Diplomat, and this other show that I talked about. No. We're not going. No. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions. Do you think that the media is out to get masculinity? Is the media out to get masculinity and take us down?